when we're ready. It takes a little extra minute after you see that it's on because we want to make sure the audio doesn't cause a double duplication for you. So just a sec. There it is. All right, Kira, it's all you.
All right, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to see everyone's faces. I figure we'll start with introductions because it looks like we have some new people in the room. So, I will start first and then we'll finish out online and then go into the room if that sounds good to everybody. My name is Kira Pressey. I am a member of the HRC and a chair for this committee, and I can speak today, I swear. I use she, her pronouns, and I will popcorn to Christina.
Hi, Christina Ballard. I am on the HRC, and I think this is my first time attending this committee. I'm from Ward 7, and my pronouns are she, her. And I'll send it over to Judy.
I am Judy McCord. I am a member of the Human Rights Commission as well. She, her pronouns. And let's see, let's go to Kelsey.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey Murray. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a member of the commission and this committee, and I will popcorn to Rebecca.
Hi, good evening. Rebecca Arce. My pronouns are she, her, ella. And I'm a special guest. I just invited today. It's my first time. Thanks for having me.
Joaquin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I do. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because it took me the longest time to be able to hear you, so I'm glad you can. Good evening. My name is Joaquin. I'm a member of this task force, but also chair of the commission. And it's good to see new folks here tonight. Welcome, Rebecca. Ilana, can you hear us?
I can. Hi, all. I am Ilana or Moslin. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a member of the commission and this committee. Excited to be here with you all tonight and hope you're staying safe. I will pass it to Judy.
Oh, I already introduced myself, so I think we're back to the room.
Oh, well, then in that case, hello, everybody. My name is Robert. I am a member of this committee and the vice chair of the Human Rights Commission. And I will pass it off to this lovely lady. I met her, I haven't gotten her name yet.
Yeah, well, my name's Kat Andrews, and I go by she, them, and I am a guest today. So we'll see what happens. I'm here to see if I can be part of it. So.
We're glad you're here. And my name is Gretchen Bennett, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm staff to the commission.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. We're really glad to have you. We will jump right into public comment. Gretchen, did we receive any public comment?
None has been received.
Great. Are there any members that are with us tonight that would like to speak? Seeing none, no public comment. We'll move on to approval of consent calendar. I will entertain a motion if someone would like to move.
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Awesome. We've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Kelsey. Awesome. Thank you. I cannot speak today. I swear I'm trying. All those who approve, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Are there any opposed? Seeing no opposition, passes. We will move on into committee membership recruitment updates. As you can see, there are lots of new people with us, which I'm very excited about. And I wanted to provide a quick update that Autumn, who was briefly appointed to the committee, has decided to step away from the committee to focus her time and energy elsewhere. So we appreciate her willingness to be involved, but we respect that. And we'd also like to take a moment to welcome Judy McCord. She is officially appointed to this committee. So yay! And additionally, we've had quite a few interested individuals reach out, and some of them are with us tonight. So, and I expect we'll probably have a couple more next round as well. Does anyone else have any updates on membership recruitment updates?
Kira, this is Gretchen. I also can share, we updated the city's webpage to reflect the committee's desire to have more participation. And then I see Jennifer joined us. So if you wanted to, we did introductions already, Jennifer, but if you wanted to say hi, you'd be most welcome to.
Hi, my name's Jennifer Brooks. I'm a mostly lifelong Salem resident, and I work for the Center for Hope and Safety, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Jennifer. We are glad to have you. All right. So if we don't have any more committee membership recruitment updates, we'll move into our healthcare forum. I'm just gonna, y'all are gonna get tired of hearing this. I'm just gonna give a quick brief synopsis of what we are doing so that those of you who haven't been here know what we're talking about. But we're currently working on putting together a healthcare forum, which is a community-driven event designed to foster dialogue between healthcare providers and LGBTQIA plus members or individuals and their families and allies. So as we go through, that's what we're talking about. I am going to try to share my screen real quick. Bear with me. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So basically, I went through after our discussions last time and kind of created some to-dos and things that we need to chat about for the event. So please feel free to stop me anytime. Moss, I hadn't got any of your goals, and so I made these. But if you have goals, please feel free to yell at me and we can add them in. But what I wrote down for this is providing a platform for dialogue, raising awareness of healthcare disparities, facilitating discussions on inclusive practices, and strengthening connections between providers and the LGBTQIA plus community. I'm not going to read all that. Gretchen can send it out so you guys can look it over, but does that kind of align with what we've been talking about? Does anyone want to add anything to it? What are your thoughts? So silent. Kelsey always has thoughts. Okay.
And
No.
Alana's got their hand raised.
Oh, I can't see that. That's
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, totally fine. So I do think that it fits into all of these things, but I also wanted to just explicitly be stated that it will be a place to figure out what resources are available. I think that we really need to focus on tangible things as well as discussion.
Okay. Love that.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, so I will put that in there. Anything else? And I'm sorry if people have their hands raised and I apparently can't see.
I don't see any hands raised, Kira, at this time. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so next steps, we have heard back from, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gretchen, but we've heard back from 4 people. Yes. 3 of them would like to be panelists. They have shown interest in that, and that's the Northwest Human Services, Salem Health, and Options Counseling. The ones that are also interested in doing a resource table is Northwest Human Services, Willamette Health Council, and Options Counseling. Gretchen, I know you said there was a potential, but we haven't confirmed that yet, right?
That's correct. I had another person that said, yes, I'm interested. It was a referral from Ilana private counselor, and I wrote back to clarify panelist or booth or both, and waiting for that to come back.
Okay,
And
awesome.
then I can also let you know that there's two others that I may still be hearing back that are potentially interested, and that's JD Health and Wellness and Kaiser Permanente. I think they're both exploring and thinking, but weren't able to get back to me by the deadline.
Okay. I'm just gonna put them in there. Okay. So as of right now, I think moving forward, we probably need to contact the non-respondents, which I can work with Gretchen to do that. If there has been anyone who hasn't responded yet, which I think it would just be those two, right, Gretchen?
Right, and I've
There's no
heard a
more.
little
Okay.
bit from like, yeah, hang on, we're trying to route to the right person. So yes, and
Okay.
Judy has her hand up, just so you're aware.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, Judy.
So, are we opening this up to people outside of the Salem area?
I think that we were specifically looking for people in the Salem Kaiser area. I mean, I'm open to hearing if you have a different idea on that, or
I just met somebody at a conference, and she's a counselor. She does online counseling, and she's with another organization. They're out of Portland, but they would be interested as well if that would be a possibility.
okay. Does anyone have thoughts on opening it up to people outside of Salem?
So I will just add the contact that I connected Gretchen with is the president of the Coalition of Professional Counselors and Therapists, which does represent all mental health providers in Oregon. And she's also a Salem-based provider. But I do think that if she ends up not being available or not able to be a panelist, that it's still a good idea to have a counselor there, especially right now. And I would also add in, if it's not too late and if we haven't already considered them, because I do apologize for missing a few meetings, the WVP Health Authority would also be a great place to reach out to, that's focused in Marion and Polk County. And I can get a contact for you all if it is not too late, which I totally get it if it is.
No, I think that would be great.
I think Kat's got her hand up, Kira, too, just so you're aware.
I'm gonna stop sharing real quick because I don't know why, but I can't see anyone and it's so annoying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kat.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Moss, thank you for saying that, because I think that having online resources, as long as they're accessible here in Salem, I think it's important to have those available. As far as having someone as a panelist, or that's whatever you guys think on that, but being able to tap into resource, I think, is important.
Well, maybe we should focus on people in the Salem area, and then if we don't get anybody, then we can expand.
I think that's a great idea. Kelsey, was that what you were gonna add? Okay. All right, awesome. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I'd like to focus on people in the Salem area, but again, I mean it's also not that hard to potentially drive elsewhere if we need it, but yeah, I agree. So,
This is Gretchen. If we're talking counseling, I believe we've got the yes from Alana's person that represents that statewide network, as well as Options Counseling has said yes. So we've got two in the counseling category at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
I don't think my hand when we're done.
Thank you, please.
Do we have anybody with beyond just general mental health counseling for substance abuse counseling? Or do we care if they're specific to that or not? Because that can sometimes be a large part of certain communities.
I don't think we added anyone to the list that we reached out to that covered substance abuse. I do like that idea. Do you have somewhere specific in mind?
Well, I have a couple of contacts. One is unfortunately, it's a for-profit. It's not a free or county thing. It's by the name of Serenity Lane. And they do a lot of substance abuse counseling, but they're private and take insurance. So I don't know. I know that they've come to our health fair here before for the city. So I didn't know if that was something we could tap into.
Kelsey, did you have something?
Yeah, did we end up inviting Marion County, like adult behavior health? Because they do substance abuse counseling.
That's true, and I didn't.
Yes.
I could go in that direction.
But I think it's a great idea that to have someone who does substance abuse counseling.
Does JD Health and Wellness?
They do. I was gonna
They've been
add JD
invited,
Health and
yeah.
Wellness and everything does quite a bit of substance use counseling. But I did want to add on there about to piggyback off of Kelsey there about inviting Marion County Adult Behavioral Health. I think it might also be nice to reach out to them because they also run all their crisis lines and crisis they also have that crisis center. And so I think also just having if someone could speak to the crisis services that the county has available, I think would be
Okay.
a good touch.
Okay. So Gretchen, we can coordinate to reach out to those additional people and see if there's any interest there.
Copy.
Okay, awesome.
Just going to add that I can ask my clients if I can share their contact information, but I do represent the burn in this area, the Behavioral Health Resource Network. So I can ask them for permission to share their contact and connect you with them all as well, which are the ones who are funded by the cannabis tax revenue.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, awesome. Well, thank you. I'm gonna go back to sharing. So hopefully I can see, maybe we'll reset and I can actually see when people raise their hands now. I'm sorry, y'all.
And Kara, I guess that settles it. We should have me share and then you can see when you're online.
You
Whoever's
know what,
online.
honestly, I'm thinking that might be a really good idea because I again can't see. I'm so sorry. You said you had it, right?
Yeah, give
Okay.
me just a second. I'll get that open.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you don't have to apologize. Thank you for preparing it. Okay. How do we do? Are you able to see?
I can see the Word document.
Oh, but not
Because you're
the
not
Google
specific
document?
window? Yeah.
Okay.
One other.
Let me try it again.
And then it'll be the LGBTQIA.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see it. Thank you. Okay, how about that?
I can see it. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So if you want to scroll down, I think we're a little bit past that. Yeah, we're right there. So we've added some people that we'll contact. Like I said, I will work with Gretchen and we'll get that out. Moss, I know that you had expressed interest in wanting to moderate initially. Is that something that you are still willing to do?
Yes, as long as it is on a date and time that I am available to do it.
That is fair. Okay, I'm gonna put you down as a yes if.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So speaking of date, another thing that I had on here that we should probably do is come up with a couple dates in June that we could run by and see if Locks is available and if the panelists are available. I didn't have any specific date in mind. I don't know if it would be best, Gretchen, you've probably done this a whole lot more than I have, to just send out a poll and see which our thoughts are, or if you guys just want to throw out dates right now in June.
This is Gretchen. I would certainly welcome folks' thoughts or definite no's. what I could do is then cross-reference that with the availability of the auditorium and then send it out to the participants to see what, what works from there. But yeah, if you have any don't do days in June, I could eliminate those right out of the gate. Are you thinking evening, weekday?
I was thinking evening weekday, if that works for this committee. I would like it to make it accessible, where individuals could attend and not take off work, if they fall into the category of having a 8 to 5. Christina, go ahead.
I have no idea what days these fall on, but just to mention, June 5th is HIV Long-Term Survivors Day. June 12th is Pulse Remembrance Day, the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. The 28th is Stonewall anniversary.
Okay.
Just throwing those out there.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that. Robert, Gretchen, heck, even Kelsey, y'all have done these events before. Do you find that, weeknights are best, or what are y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, I've always preferred weeknight events, and even the Salem Speaks Up committee opted for the same thing. Just as you mentioned, for those that typically work at 8 to 5, to be able to get there. Yeah, and I think they've been fairly well attended. During kind of like that 6 to 8 time frame.
Okay. So I think for me, we should avoid the 2nd and 4th weeks of the month of June, because that's usually HRC and board for me. I don't know if there's anyone else who has a hard date that they cannot attend and would want to attend.
The week of the 16th would be a no-go for me.
Okay.
That's the third week of June, so perfect.
We're at the first week of June.
Yeah, so I love that. So yeah, if we I think, Gretchen, if we can take that week and reach out to, well, you can check Lux, you don't have to reach out, I'm sure, but if we can see what their availability looks like, and then maybe like you said, take that to the panelists who are interested and see what their availability is.
There's also the 4th week of June, 23rd through 27th.
I think Kira said
I would
please.
love that.
Oh, I thought Kira said not the 3rd.
No,
Oh,
not the 2nd or the 4th. However, if other people like the 4th, we could do the 4th. Let me pull up the calendar really quick. I just can't do the 26th at all. And we would meet, or one of us meets on the 25th. I don't know which one it is. This committee meets on the 25th, so we could always adjust that.
But we could look at the 23rd, 24th, and maybe the 30th of June.
Yeah, I think those would be great options.
Okay.
30th. Okay.
Great. I'll cross-check that with the auditorium and then update you all on dates to hold, and I will communicate with the participants to see what ends up working.
That sounds great.
Gretchen,
Yeah,
is the 30th a council evening?
it's not.
Okay. That's my only caution, would be to not have it on a Monday where we had a council meeting. So we can,
Oh, that would take out June 23rd then.
Yeah.
So generally these things are typically scheduled on Tuesdays and Wednesdays just because of availability. No one wants to meet on a Friday. Board meetings are often Wednesdays, Thursdays. Every other Monday is a council meeting. So It really is the middle of the week, usually.
And actually, now that we're in June, June 23rd will be, the Laux Auditorium will be council, because council's gonna move there because
Right.
of the city hall
Right.
retrofit, so they'll be in there. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So maybe the 24th will be the lucky one, right?
Yeah.
Is that a Tuesday?
It is.
As long as it's not a planning commission, I can go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it's not.
It is not, but the planning commission does meet on the 17th and the 3rd.
Okay.
Please do not schedule this around me. It's totally fine. I was just joking.
No, we have to make sure they're walking. All right. If nobody's got anything else on dates, I think we can scroll down, Gretchen, whenever you have a second.
Yes.
Okay. So up next, I think that we need to finalize flyers and social media posts. Judy, I don't know if you were waiting on me, but I just wanted to check in with you and see if you had time to do that or if you need any help.
So I was relying on my memory, which my memory is not very good.
That's okay.
And so I did start working on something, but I do have some questions. Are we able to do a flyer in color, or do we need to do black and white for printing?
I
We
believe
can
that
do
will be a
limited
Gretchen.
color. Yeah, we can do limited color prints. Yes.
Okay, well, that throws that idea out the window.
Oh, if you want me to say black and white, we can.
No, I don't like the word limited. That's the problem.
Oh, gotcha.
And is it 8.5 by 11?
We can do some different sizes.
Okay.
If you know, whatever the group thinks would be the most likely size to be posted, we could, you know, do a reasonable number in different sizes.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, just a second. I'll stop sharing and then I think I need to enable you to share possibly.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Let's see. So this is what I came up with, which is going to be way more colorful than I possibly can do. But do we need the City of Salem logo on it?
I think so, right, Gretchen?
Okay.
That's generally been a yes, that when we're doing something as the commission, we include the logo. And then I will also need to get you the language if I haven't yet, like the accessibility.
Yes, definitely. So do we want Human Rights Commission, LGBTQIA plus committee, or do we want that to say something different?
I like that it says both.
Okay. And we're calling it the Healthcare Forum, correct?
I think that that's up to, I'm open to input.
Okay.
I
I think it's fine. I was just making sure.
I kind of I do want to make sure that whatever we do does, I mean, you have connecting healthcare providers with LGBTQIA plus community underneath. So I think that puts across what I really want to make sure the community understands that it's for, that it's not just a generalized healthcare forum, that it's specifically targeting
Right.
this community.
Okay. Yeah, I love what you said, but I condensed it down a little bit. So, um, let's see. And then, yeah, and then we just got to do the dates and the times and everything. So I will work a little bit more on some ones that don't have as much color, even though I love the rainbow.
Love the rainbow.
Well,
Looks great.
Don't feel like you have to, I mean, what we should talk numbers, Judy, like, I mean, if you're thinking 5,000, I can't do that, but I can do
No.
like 50, 75.
Oh, that would probably be plenty. And then as long as
Yeah,
we get it out
yeah,
on social media and things. So,
yeah.
okay. So I will come up with a couple more ideas and I'll send them to Gretchen to have her kind of send out, and then I can get more input from everybody if that works.
That sounds great. I think it looks great.
Okay. I don't really like the healthcare professionals, but it was hard to find different people with different colored skin tones. So, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm working on that a little bit, but I'll have some other ideas for everybody and we could go from there.
Okay.
A couple quick comments. This is Robert, though. I did want to say that I really love the rainbow in the background. So if we can continue working around that, Judy, I really loved that. And I also liked the way that the date was presented on the bottom. I like the little rainbow ribbon that kind of separated, you know, the date and then, you know, the location and address. So those would be my two sustains.
I'm surprised you noticed that little bar.
No, it's very cool.
Yes. I think if we kept that coloring the way it was, like I think that for me, that'd be a huge sustain.
Okay.
This is Kat. Really quick, do you have any place on there to put for more information? Call, go to the website, email?
Well, you know, all this space here is going to be filled with information, so I'm
Okay.
sure that I'll get that from Gretchen, as you know, as well as the accessibility information. So, and it will adjust depending on the information we have.
Thanks.
Judy, do you have capability? I'm not sure what you're working in, but do you have capability to use the same graphics to design kind of a social media post?
Oh yes,
So,
definitely.
okay.
I'm a graphic artist, but I love Canvas. I'm working in Canva.
I love Canva too. It's my favorite.
So easy.
That would be great because I'd like to keep the theme kind of the same. So,
Sure.
you know, when you see the flyer, you know what we're talking about, or when you see the social media post, you know what we're talking about. So awesome. Okay.
All right.
Gretchen, will you go back to sharing?
I will.
Thank you. Thanks, Judy, again. I really like it. It looks great. Okay. So we'll finalize flyers and then we can talk distribution for flyers a little bit later. Will you go back up a little bit, Gretchen?
Yeah, sorry, I was just realizing.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, your name is on there. I just had a question because when I did this at work, and I'm so sorry that I don't remember the name of the program that we talked about using that's similar to Google that you can submit your questions.
Yes.
I couldn't remember it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I generally create all of my stuff through Esri's ArcGIS, like Esri's Survey 123 tool. And
Okay.
I can still create that questionnaire similar to the one that we did for the Homeless Services Town Hall. And I can do a QR code, and I could link with Judy, and I can do one that's kind of colorful. Like I can try to do one that's colorful that kind of matches the color scheme, so it's not just a black and white QR code that's sitting in the middle there. Judy, are you familiar with how to do QR codes in Canva and changing the colors?
I can figure it out, I'm sure.
Well, if not anything, I'm always happy to create it, and then I can just send you that QR code to just implement. I can just share that design with you via Canva. So we can connect offline to make sure that the QR code matches the brand.
Perfect.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you guys. So that was my question on that. Oh, Rebecca.
This is Rebecca. My apologies. I do not know protocol for guests.
Oh, you are totally fine.
Can I give some feedback?
Absolutely.
I think it might be helpful to say that it's not only a forum, but also a resource fair.
Okay.
That way it's really explicit as to what is taking place. And then my other question, is this an English only forum?
That is something that we have not discussed yet. That is a great question though. As I would love to be able to provide it in other languages and have resources for those who do not speak English. Gretchen, I know we have, I think this was a question that came up previously. Do we only do that if it's requested, or how does that usually work?
Yeah, that is generally the base policy, but then there's times when there's teams and budgets that are able to provide funding for interpretation proactively instead of waiting to see if we get a request. I did just discover a budget that's able to help us with the other Human Rights Commission event that relates to people reporting bias and discrimination if they're not with citizenship or documentation. And so I did discover that, but I don't know if I'll also be able to discover the funds for this one. We're in a very constrained budget environment. Certainly if a population, we always want to get the information to people and work with people. If we get a request, we'll do our very best to fill that and problem solve trying to get information to folks. But a proactive piece is different just because of the financial impact of all of the events that we do and the budget constraints that we have.
Okay. Thank you, Gretchen. Another idea might be too, when we reach out to our panelists, is to specifically request that they include some of their resources, which I imagine most of them would, but we could request that they provide what they have in other languages as well.
Sure.
Just that they have it on hand. Judy.
Talking about our community partners and other resources, is there a possibility that maybe some of them would be able to provide flyers in color as well? Maybe we could ask.
Yeah, if you're finding that we don't have enough,
Yeah.
usually it seems the print we do seems to meet the request of the commission, but if you're needing more, that's a great idea. I'm sure we could.
And also, back to Rebecca's point, should we provide the flyer in Spanish?
I think only if we have interpretation services, because I don't want it to be misleading that the event would be in Spanish if the flyer was in Spanish.
That's a great point.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Going back to Rebecca's original point, adding the health resource language on there. I personally feel that's great. Is anyone opposed to that, or would you prefer a different language? I think it's important we include that because we are going to have resources available as well. Not seeing anyone. Okay. So we'll plan to include that language on there. I did, going back to the main sheet, I did put together kind of a proposed agenda with some of the things that we had already discussed, which is welcome and introductions. We would do that about 5 minutes, and someone would give a brief introduction, probably the chair, but we'll see if she can speak that day. And and we'll just do a very quick overview of kind of the goals and the agenda of the forum. So it'd be very quick. And then we'll start into the panelist presentation. I love how it's 60 hours. Did you guys notice that? We will be there for a while. It'll be 60 minutes, just to be clear. So each panelist will have a total of 10 minutes. That's what this committee previously discussed. We're still, again, we only have 3 confirmed panelists at this time, so we'll get into that later if we need to adjust times. And then we would do the community Q&A, where hopefully Moss will be able to moderate, and it would be approximately 50 minutes is what I was thinking, because that'll leave us 5 minutes for closing remarks. My question on this is, 1, do we have anything to add or take away? And 2, should we allow time beforehand or after for people to actually engage with the resources that will be there? Because if we're just saying the event is 2 hours and someone is talking the entire time, there is no time for them to do that. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. Any thoughts?
And Moss has their hand up.
Go ahead, Moss. I can't see you. I'm so sorry. Apparently, it's broken. My system is broken.
Look, I get it. It's been a long week and it's only Wednesday.
Yes.
I usually recommend saying doors will open 30 minutes before we actually plan to start. And then I would say have the event go 30 minutes or even an hour longer on the flyer. And maybe we can specify that the discussion will be in this time frame.
Okay. I do like the 30 minutes before. I think if we put a flyer out that says that it's 3 hours long, even if we specify that the discussion will only take place during that time, it might be too long, especially on a weeknight. I don't know. That's just me. I'm in bed by like 8. So I don't know if that would be a turnoff for some people. But I do like the idea of having it before and after so that people have the opportunity. So go ahead, Judy.
Oh, you saw my hand.
I did. I could say some people pop up and others don't.
Um, so do we need 5 panelists then? Can we, if we have 3 right now, maybe we just make the panelists a shorter time frame.
I think the goal was with doing the 5 was the hope would be that we could get, someone from mental health, someone who represents this and represents that. I feel like if we narrow it down, we might miss out on some opportunities for agencies that really do need the time to make that connection. So I'm not sure if we want to reduce it. We could potentially reduce time, maybe. Jennifer.
I was just trying to think of events that I've been at, similar before. And I think that if you say that the doors open half an hour early, you could still say that the event is 2 hours, but as long as you make sure the people that are going to be there have it blocked to be there early and late, then I think it's kind of natural that as it ends, people will, see like we're not rushing everyone out the door, and maybe they started a conversation beforehand, they want to follow. Could be something that could be explained like between the panelists and the Q&A, saying like, scheduled to end. However, if you want to, what do you call it? Like circulate and like pick, connect with resources, there will be some like built-in time at the end.
Okay. I like that. Rebecca, did you have something?
Yes, thank you. This is Rebecca. I think maybe doing an intermission between the panelists and then the moderated Q&A would be beneficial. Number one, people can't sit still that long, especially at the end of a workday. And there is a correlation between folks that are LGBTQIA and have ADHD or are on the spectrum. So having a break is super imperative. I'm in that category. And then that way, if folks don't want to stay till after, they can check out the resource fair, but it also gives you time to switch out who's on stage too. So you can still stick to your 2-hour speaking portion, but break it up so people can get up and move around and stay engaged that way.
I do really like that idea. I also fall into those categories. So having break time is great. I think too, if we just did, I don't know, maybe like a 10 or 15-minute intermission, it wouldn't make it seem so long, and then keep the language of, doors will open at this time. And then we can let resources know that we're going to keep the doors open, but maybe keep it off the flyer. Moss, does that sound okay to you? If we just kept it off the flyer?
That sounds amazing. And I had my hand raised after Rebecca to suggest the exact same thing. So thank you
I'm
for
sorry. I swear I'm not ignoring people's hands.
Rebecca was first and I put mine down, so you're all good.
Okay. All right, well, awesome. I love the idea of the intermission, so that's fantastic. I will add that in there. Okay. So what else do we have on the agenda real quick? Make sure we're not. Yeah, we'll keep going for about 5 more minutes and then we'll move into something else. So just kind of info for you guys. These were the sample discussion topics that we gave in the letter that we sent out to potential panelists and resources. My question is, because we've provided this for them, if by some random chance we don't get a lot of questions, community member questions, should we have pre-done questions, like things that we already, if you'll scroll down a little bit, Gretchen, pretty please. Yeah, so these ones are different questions that I just came up with, and Gretchen can share that. It goes on to the second page too, but I was thinking it might be a really great idea to just have these available, and we can add more, we can adjust them, but I don't want to strictly rely on people's input at last minute and then find out we don't have enough questions to really engage. Does that sound okay with everyone?
Yeah, I was
100%.
I was gonna agree to that. Whenever I go into things like this that I'm hosting, I'm gonna try to have like questions loaded already in case there's not enough to keep the discussion going.
Okay, perfect. So I will send this out to everybody so you guys can look over it, and then next meeting, if you have more or you have edits, we can adjust, or you can send your edits directly to Gretchen. You just can't edit in the document. But I think that was the end of what I had written out. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss in regards to the forum?
Yeah, so I guess on the questions, do you want a cutoff time for that question? Or like, do you want a time to thing to where like it won't accept questions? Like, because I think we were discussing that these questions would be shared ahead of time, like all the questions, like audience questions would be shared ahead of time. Is that still the case, or are we gonna accept questions up until the start of the, like, well, I guess we'd have to, at a minimum, I'm gonna have to cut it off the day before because I'd have to be able to download those results and print them.
I think it would be a good idea to have a cutoff date simply because I would like for those agencies that are participating in this to not feel like it's a attack on them. I
Yeah.
want it to be more of a coordinated, like, let's have a conversation. So I think that we definitely should, so that we can send them the questions ahead of time. What is everyone else's thought on that? If anyone is raising their hand, I apparently can't see it.
I see no hand raised.
Okay.
I think you're okay.
Okay. I think it depends on when we get our marketing out, but I mean, is a week too much, too little? You know, like a week before we cut it off? Or should we gauge? Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, for the Alamo Services Town Hall, I accepted questions because we didn't share them with the panelists ahead of time. So we accepted questions up until the day before, because then I was able to go through and, kind of scrub the questions, pull out duplicates, and then compile them. But the idea is to send these questions ahead of time to the providers, allowing them an opportunity to prepare, I guess, responses to these questions ahead of time. Then I'd probably suggest a week so we can send them out and say, hey, these are the questions that the community has asked for. And I think kind of the idea to that was we'd want them to be able to kind of dig up some of that information. If someone's asking about like a specific resource or a specific, like a specific thing, we don't want them to have to be like, I can get back to you. Well, you can't really get back to, like, probably be difficult to get back to them. So
yeah, that was my thought process as well. Kelsey.
I think a week might be a little bit too like late, early, too soon. I don't know. I would say 72 hours. I think that gives them enough time to organize their thoughts a little bit, but not, yeah, I think it's a good 72 hours for me if I was a panelist.
like that.
I like that, and it also doesn't give them enough time to incorporate it into their presentation, because I would really like for those two things to stay separate. Like, I don't want them to give a presentation that answers all the questions that are therefore scheduled in the next hour. So I think that would be a good idea. Does everyone feel okay with 72 hours? Okay. All right. Anything else on the healthcare forum? Okay. I'm going to move us on to May meeting reschedule. It sounds like our Gretchen will not be available for our May meeting. Is that correct, Gretchen?
That is correct. And I was gonna ask if the team would like to gather June 4th instead. But we may want to offer that as a panel, as a potential evening for this. So a second idea might be to wait and see where this event lands and then schedule. But yeah, I'm not gonna be in the state the last 2 weeks of May. And at the moment, don't see a sub in for me. I can keep looking for that so that you can meet without me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention that.
Okay. I think Joaquin has said that Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best day for the forum. And the 4th is a Wednesday. So
That's right. So maybe that would be okay.
we could just say yeah, the 4th. If everyone is okay with the 4th.
Looks like we're getting some nods.
I like them
well,
all.
that's easy. Copy that. Okay.
Awesome. So we will move that to the 4th. Do you need a motion for that, Gretchen? You don't, do you?
No, I'm comfortable with just understanding that works for everybody. So you'll see us not have a meeting the 4th Wednesday in May and instead having a meeting the 1st Wednesday in June.
Sounds awesome. All right. So we will move on to member remarks and announcements. Does anyone have any remarks or announcements? Y'all are so quiet today. I'm just feeling very talkative.
I'm listening to the thunder that is happening.
Is it finally happening?
Thunder?
Yeah, I'm in South Salem.
I wish we could hear it.
I don't think I'm hearing anything.
No.
We're downtown and I don't think we're hearing anything here.
Oh, wait.
Oh. That was
I
something.
was it? I thought.
I don't know what it
I thought it
was.
was a truck maybe, but I don't know.
It could be.
All I know is I like the sound of thunder, so
You like or don't like?
I do. I like it. I enjoy it. It's,
Ew. I feel like North never gets anything fun, you know? South always gets snow. We get like just a dust, you know? Like
We also
All
get
right.
mudslides.
You get
So there's
mudslides
that.
in South?
Yeah, off of River Road.
Oh my
No
goodness.
fun going around.
No, that doesn't sound like any fun. Well, I would like to say thank you to everyone who came today and visited us. I'll touch back with most of you via email and see if this is something you're interested in moving forward with, and we'll go from there. If no one else has any remarks or announcements, you only get 6 minutes back. We lasted almost a full hour, y'all. But we will go ahead and adjourn. Y'all have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
You guys.